The content of this program is to provide nutritional education only. This program is not meant to take the place of your primary care physician. The FDA requires us to let you know that our products are not meant to treat, prevent, diagnose, or cure any diseases. As an empowered individual, you have options available. We are honored to have one of the founding fathers of epigenetics here to guide us with the best options to obtain or maintain optimal health, Dr. Joel Wallach. Welcome to Daily Go. Hello. Welcome, everybody. So excited to have you here on live with us, whether you're live streaming or here in the Zoom room with us, where you can ask questions. So if you are on the live stream, and if I could get a thumbs up just to make sure that we have sound. So we are, thank you, Dr. Wallach. So we are actually doing a live stream to YouTube, to Rumble, and to Facebook. So if any of you are following people, make sure that you go to Critical Health News, okay? Critical Health News, and subscribe to our channels. Follow us. That way you get that little ding when we got something live going, and you don't miss out on the empowering information that we are bringing to you Monday through Friday from noon to 12:50 Pacific time. So if you are out there watching us in the whole internet of life, come and join us live. We love to see smiling faces. We love to have people from around the world joining us and bringing to Dr. Wallach their health concerns so that they too can be empowered in what they can do all on their own without the permission of somebody else telling them what they can do to help improve their health journey. My name is Becca Dukes, and I am excited to be the hostess of this program, Daily with Doc, sponsored by Critical Health News and Daily with Doc website. And folks, if you are new to the longevity products, new to hearing Dr. Wallach's message, and nobody shared this program with you, make sure that you go to dailywithdoc.com and you can request a free 15-minute consultation. Sign up for our newsletter and use that contact us, and just send us a quick little note saying, consultation, please. And I will get you connected with one of our certified holistic health coaches to help you choose exactly what is tailored to your current situation, because it's not a one size fits all. We have products that help us to help you, and we can match a budget. So that's one thing that I absolutely love about the way our program is set up and the coaches that we have available to help you. So again, if you were sent to this program by somebody specific, get back with them. They cared enough to take the time to share this program with you, and chances are they may be a health coach as well. So, well, I do want to remind everybody that the content of this program is to provide nutritional education only, and it is not meant to take the place of your primary care physician. Our products are not meant to diagnose, treat, cure any diseases, but as empowered individuals, folks, you have the ability to gain information and make choices based on the information that feels right to you. And folks, we're not chemical deficient. We're nutrient deficient. As you're going to hear in today's message, that our food is missing the nutrition that it used to have 100 years ago. So what we think we're putting in our mouth to be nutritious may not be as nutritious as you think. And we're going to be sharing a lot of information about that today. So as empowered individuals, you have options, and we are honored to have one of the founding fathers of the science of epigenetics that gave me hope, because it proved the genetic theory and the transfer of disease to be incorrect. Folks, I had several different genetic labeled conditions, and I absolutely have none today. And I am so honored and to be part of this program where I am featuring the doctor who gave me the information that helped me choose this health journey, Dr. Joel Wallach. Dr. Wallach, thank you so much for joining us here 5 days a week.
Well,
5 days a week.
Your family, I can't thank you enough, and your entire team. So just this is great to be able to do this and get the information out there. Can't thank you and your team enough for making it happen. I'm going to start out with a little bit of sad news. One of the more famous movie actors, a guy by the name of Paul Grant. Does that name mean anything to you?
I don't watch a whole lot of movies,
okay,
so
Grant,
sorry.
He's one of the superstars of Star Wars and Harry Potter. He's only 4'4". He was 56 years old. He was running to catch a train on the train terminal, and he dropped dead.
Oh no!
56. This was just a day ago, and they said he was instantly brain dead. So I don't know if he had a stroke. I don't know if he had a ruptured aneurysm. I don't know if the skull was squeezing the blood supply to the brain. I don't know what happened because they didn't give me the autopsy. You know, I'll have to track that down and get more details. But on the surface, you know, here's this guy who's famous, Paul Grant, only 56 years old, starred in 2 big movies, Star Wars and Harry Potter, and he just drops dead. Well, I guarantee you it was a nutritional deficiency. It wasn't genetics, wasn't autoimmune stuff. And we'll find out here in the next day or so what actually went on in detail. It's really, really a sad story. But it's kind of like this red warning light on the dashboard. You know, if somebody this famous stars in 2 movies, was not financially deficient, he could, you know, get any nutrient and supplement he wanted. He could go to the best doctors in the world if he had a problem. And here he's just, you know, catching a train. So obviously he didn't have anything obviously wrong with him at that moment. He's running to catch a train, just drops dead before he got on the train. Okay. And this is really a sad story. And so we have to take this information, learn from it, and get the information out there so this doesn't happen to anybody again. Okay. It's really, really, really one of those things that when you look at, on Fox News, on your phone or your computer, it has a picture of him. And he, you know, he looks like, on the outside, looks like a healthy middle-aged man, okay? But he played these sort of spatial characters, okay, from space and so forth. So he was quite the guy. So we'll miss him. Okay, then I want to talk about something that's important to all of us. Our digestive system is the connection to the outside world when it comes to our nutrients. You can't rub a steak on yourself and get the protein from the steak. You cannot rub an apple on yourself and get all the nutrients from an apple that way. You cannot wash your hair with bananas and get the nutrients that way. You cannot rub eggs on yourself and get much nutrition that way. So the point I'm getting at, even you cannot rub water on yourself and get enough water to keep yourself hydrated. You have to put it in your mouth. You got to swallow it. You got to get it into your stomach and break it down into the right size pieces and the right chemistry so your body can absorb it and put it in the right places inside your body. And so you got several things going on here to be able to do this. Now, human beings, as soon as we were made, we're eating stuff. That's how we got nutrition. We ate stuff, okay? And in the beginning, when people were in the right places, they lived a long time. In the Old Testament, the good Lord said, "In man's years shall be 120 years." Well, that's fair. Okay, the record is in modern times, in the industrialized world, is Jean Kelman from France. So she died in 1997, I believe it was, at 122 years and 164 days. That set the record. It's still a record. Okay. And the average in America, depending on whose numbers you're looking at, is 73 to 75, about almost a little more than half, okay, of what she was. There's something wrong here. Okay, we have some work to do. Well, the first thing you have to do is choose properly what you're going to eat. You're going to choose how you're going to deal with it. You got to, some of it you got to eat raw, some you got to cook it, you got to chew it up, you got to swallow it, you got to be able to mix it with your digestive enzymes and your bile from your liver and your pancreatic enzymes and all kind of stuff, and absorb it and then run it through your bloodstream to all your cells and tissues and organs. It's quite a process to extract nutrition from food. Okay. And so you can help yourself many, many ways. Number one of the oldest of supplements, which has to do with digestion and, you know, the stomach breaking things down, is stomach acid. Well, how do you get stomach acid? Well, stomach acid, hydrochloric acid, is made from salt. We have two great sources of salt. We have the seasoned salt from Australia and New Zealand, and we have the Himalayan salt from the Himalayan mountains. They contain, like, I don't know, 28, 30 minerals from the volcanoes and so forth. And I alternate, you know, one day I take the seasoned salt from Australia. The next day I take the Himalayan salt. And I always buy like 6 bottles. When I get down to the last 2, I buy 6 more. That way, if they're out for a couple of months, like they were with the Himalayan salt, I don't run out, okay? Because you want your stomach to be able to function, do its job. Then I also take, let's see here, I take our ultimate enzymes. It's called the gallbladder in a bottle, because we do put bile in it. You know, in the slaughterhouse, we get the gallbladders from cattle and sheep. We take the bile out of that and dry it, and we put it in our enzyme capsules, okay, ultimate enzymes. And we call it the gallbladder in a bottle, because it will help you absorb the things that you need, okay. You know, fat soluble vitamins, ultimate enzymes will actually help you with fat soluble vitamins. Also, it'll help you with essential fatty acids, which prevent strokes, you know, prevent blood clots, you know, inappropriate blood clots and things, prevents asthma, and so on. And we really have to pay attention to these details, because at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, Monday, September 4th, 1882, on Pearl Street in New York City, in the bluff overlooking construction of Brooklyn Bridge, after thousands and thousands and thousands of years of using wood and coal as fuel and putting the wood ashes in our garden and into our food, where we're getting these minerals, suddenly now we had electricity. Now, electricity was good for industry, okay, it was good for manufacturing, but it has killed more people than all the wars human beings have ever been in since the beginning of recorded time. Okay, because there's no nutrition that is provided by electricity. Whereas wood ashes and coal ashes were 95, 98% minerals and 2 or 3% carbon. And that's how we got our nutritional minerals for thousands and thousands and thousands of years. And we have the book, okay, it's called Hell's Kitchen, goes into the history and the transfer, okay, from wood and coal as fuel to electricity and all the disasters we have since then. Quickly, the U.S. Senate came out in 1936 with U.S. Senate document 264 and said, our farm soils in America, remember, this is the United States Senate. This is not me. This is the United States Senate. 1936 came out and said, our farm soils in America no longer have sufficient minerals in them to support long and healthy human life. I don't know how to make it any clearer. You have to supplement. You must supplement, okay? You must make sure your digestive system is working properly so you can absorb all this stuff, all right? And of course, we have the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack with 215 nutrients. The core is the 90 essential nutrients. Thank you, Becca. Beautiful. And then we have fun things that even kids can take. I take the ultimate enzymes. I take the Florafex. And another one of my favorites, and this one you got to watch, because the kids will eat the whole bottle because they taste great. And they're, let's see here, apple cider vinegar, okay, and also they're, let's see here, apple cider vinegar, and let's see here, the black currants. And they are the best tasting. It's kind of like, they look like raisins, little round raisins, little flat round raisins, all shriveled up and everything. But oh my gosh, they taste so good. And you give it to a kid who's 3, 4, 5 years old, they'll eat the whole bottle. You know, this is the size of the bottle. A little kid can eat the whole thing. Just take handfuls of them or a fork and eat them, and it'll be gone in 5 minutes. Okay, because it tastes so good. So you just give them one at a time. Okay, And a little kid, you could give them 1 or 2, before each meal, something like that, or 1 meal a day, like the big dinner meal. And so, okay, that's very, very important. Okay, that's the apple cider vinegar. And then another one of my favorites for kids is root beer belly. Oh my gosh, these are all these probiotics in here. And in the
There's 5 billion active colonies of probiotics in that
oh
root
my
beer
gosh,
belly.
5 billion colonies in here. And so you're getting that, and they're going to help you. They're going to help you digest your food so they're easily absorbed, efficiently absorbed. Okay, this is another great product. Oh my gosh.
And it tastes good, Dr. Wallach. Folks, if you
it's
like root beer, you just open it. It's a powder. You sprinkle it on your tongue, let it dissolve instantly. So yummy.
okay, we've got about 12 other products here. I'm going to go up. We're just run through a bunch of them here. Okay, quickly. Let's see here. Digestive support. Okay, these are convenient on the go probiotics. We talked about the root beer belly, and they're kind of sprinkles with 5 billion cultures in each container. Pre and probiotics sprinkles. Okay, 40 billion cultures. Okay, it's called pineapple orange. Okay, as it's a flavor. And then, to me, the biggest hammer again is the ultimate enzymes and the FlorFX. Daily digest, 4 capsules, daily pouch. Okay, and liver cleanse, microbiome support, intestinal maintenance, apple cider vinegar. We already talked about that with the gummies. Oh my gosh, the black currants and the apple cider vinegar. You remember, do not give that jar to the kids because they will eat the whole thing, and they'll have to run to the toilet and they'll be in the bathroom.
Well, so Dr. Wallach, just a quick story on that. One of my girlfriends had that sitting on the counter, and her teenager, 14 years old, tasted one and kept tasting them and tasting them until they were all gone in one day. And she had a regular bowel movement, and she hadn't had one regularly in a day or so. So it did not give her instant diarrhea. And she said her tummy felt great. And that whole week she was feeling great. So mom had to get some more,
Well,
but this time we put limits.
Okay, we also have root beer belly sprinkles. Okay, put them on your tongue. Okay, that's going to help, again, give your digestive system the right environment to be able to digest and absorb food. Okay, and we have the prebiotics. We have apple cider vinegar, which we already talked about. And so, we're covering the front end, I call it, or the front end where you're taking food in. You have to have all the equipment there. If you pour gasoline in the driveway of your house, is that going to get you to work? No, you got to put it in the car. Okay, well, the same thing with these probiotics. If you're going to, in the digestive enzymes, if you're going to get the nutrition into your body, you have to give it what it needs to be able to perform that task. Okay, so you're responsible for that. And remember, you go back to the old days, people were using herbs and that sort of stuff. And that's why we have the book, Let's Play Doctor, Let's Play Herbal Doctor, Passport to Aromatherapy. That's why you need to do a hair analysis. Get the book, Rare Earths and Cures, chapters 10 and 11, page 272. Tells you how to collect the hair, how to package it, how to ship. Don't forget to put the check in there because the lab won't run the test. It'll tell you what nutrients you're low in and tell you if you have any toxic minerals. And you don't need a doctor's prescription for these things. You don't need to ask a doctor to do this. If you go to the doctor, I'm having trouble with my digestion. Well, they're going to put you in the hospital and do all kinds of tests and put tubes down your throat and tubes up your other end and all this kind of stuff. And blood tests, they'll run up a bill of a couple $1,000. But don't worry about it. Your insurance will pay for it, right? But you could get killed in the hospital. That happens a lot. Okay. People get bugs in the hospital. When they're putting tubes in you, they puncture the wrong things and you die bleeding to death and so forth. So hospitals aren't necessarily the place you want to go if you don't really need to go there. Now, if you get run over by a truck and you're bleeding internally, you better run to the hospital. Okay. But if you just want to find out something, that would not be the first place that I would go. Okay, because most of the stuff you can do yourself. And that's why we constructed longevity so that we could do this. Okay, so people could do this on their own. Okay, the good Lord gave us intelligence to do things that are necessary to live long, healthful lives. Okay, so with that, don't forget the basic stuff. Salt was one of the first traded nutrients in the world thousands of years ago. They make sea salt, and people say, you're the salt of the earth, because they knew it was good for them. Their goiter would go away when they used sea salt. They didn't know what was in the sea salt that made your goiter go away. But all over the world, the average person got rid of goiter when doctors couldn't do it. The people got rid of goiter just by taking sea salt because of the minerals that were in the sea salt. Are you getting
It just goes to prove you don't have to have a certificate on the wall to help yourself. That's
correct. Okay. And then, of course, again, we have the books, Epigenetics. We have the book. Becca showed you some of the books, Dead Doctors Don't Lie. Epigenetics, The Death of Genetic Theory of Disease Transmission. That picture is of me in 1976 at the Yerkes Primate Center. It was one of the monkeys I found, first non-human that had cystic fibrosis, birth defect. That was 1976. I finally got recognized for that in 2011. It took all the way to
2011. There you are.
Getting the recognition for that discovery in 1976. Okay.
So Dr. Wallach, you changed just a little bit.
Yeah. Gained a little weight. Lost a little bit of hair.
Yeah, but then you got on the longevity products, and
here we are.
Here we are. So for those of you who are new to Dr. Wallach's books, you can go to drjwallach.com and find all of his books and CDs and DVDs. Those are all available there. And, Dr. Wallach is now 83 years old, going to be 84 in a few months, and he's still going strong.
Oh, yeah. You're going to have to put up with me for another, at least, I think, 75 to 100 years.
Well, it's going to be a tough job, but I think I can handle it, Doc.
Okay. I trust in you, and I know you can make it happen.
Yes, we can make it happen for sure. Well, I just want to reach out and say hello to you on YouTube. We've got some questions coming up from watchers there. It looks like we have 23 people watching on YouTube right now, in addition to a room full of people here on Zoom in the Zoom room. And if you are out somewhere other than in the Zoom room and you want to ask Dr. Wallach a question, we invite you to do so. Go to dailywithdoczoom.com and come join us. Let's go to the first question, Dr. Wallach. Okay. And this individual he says he's hearing a lot about people going vegan. So Dr. Wallach, tell us a little bit about the vegan diet, and can it be dangerous or is it nutritious?
Okay, the vegan diet is extremely dangerous. Okay, because plants do not make minerals. Okay, and you could be eating the same diet that your twin brother or sister is eating, and they're, say, 3 states away or 2 counties away or something like that. And they're buying food from a market that grew in ground that has maybe 20 minerals in it. And you could be getting food that grew in the local area, which had only 3 minerals in it. And so you're going to die 10, 15, 20, 30, 40, 50 years before they do. And you're going to be eating the same recipe. Okay. So a vegan diet is only acceptable if you're going to supplement with all 90 essential nutrients. I would also throw in eggs, because there's no cholesterol in vegetables. Your brain is 25% cholesterol. Your spinal cord is 25% cholesterol. And I don't know about Bruce Willis. I don't know why he was cholesterol short and he got this FTD, frontal temporal dementia, which is a type of Alzheimer's disease that affects the front of the brain, the side of the brain, but not the back of the brain. And It's been around a long time, but they really didn't understand it until they got the MRIs, the magnetic resonance imaging, so they could actually see the brain when you're still alive. Historically, they could only see the brain when you're dead, and they could cut your skull open and look at your brain. Okay, but this has to do with a cholesterol deficiency, and everybody should be calling and emailing and writing in and telling him to get a hold of me. Okay, get Bruce Willis to get his family to get a hold of me, because I believe I can reverse that. Our I-26, our I-26. Okay, it says right on the label, provides 1 serving. Okay, provides 25% of your daily requirement of cholesterol. What? My doctor says I shouldn't take cholesterol. Cholesterol makes up 25% of your brain weight. If you get cholesterol out of your diet, you're giving up eggs, you're giving up red meat, you're giving up anything with cholesterol and going to a vegan diet. Well, guess what? You'll save a little bit of money for a couple of months and then you die. Or worse yet, you get FTD or Alzheimer's disease or MS or demyelinization, you become a vegetable yourself.
And they use a lot of grains, Dr. Wallach.
When you have the grains, wheat, butter, and oats, they contain what? Gluten. It destroys your intestinal lining, so you cannot efficiently absorb nutrition. Okay. Buckwheat on the label says gluten-free, which is quite true, but it does have phagopyrenes in it, F-A-G-O pyrines, which are worse than gluten. And so you have to stay away from those things. And I learned that when I was 9 years old. That's how I got into the nutritional science, because I figured out what 20 doctors couldn't figure out. Okay, and it turns out I was one of the first kids in America that had Tourette's syndrome. They didn't know what it was back then, and 20 different doctors couldn't figure it out. And they were going to put me in one of these institutions, they called it, but it was really a prison hospital was what it was. Okay, but it was they were going to put me in this institution where I couldn't hurt myself or hurt anybody else, but they're going to try different drugs on me and surgical procedures and everything. Well, that didn't sound good to me. And I started eating, instead of eating Wheaties and oatmeal for breakfast, I started eating that weekend, because they're packing my clothes Friday night, so Monday they can take me to that institution. On Saturday morning, Sunday morning, and Monday morning, I was eating these alfalfa pellets that were enriched with vitamins and minerals. These are not just alfalfa pellets. These are alfalfa pellets that were enriched with vitamins and minerals. And I took them for breakfast with milk all those 3 mornings. And in 2.5 days, I cured myself that 20 different medical doctors couldn't fix in 5 years. So it's one of those things where a 9-year-old kid figured this out, okay, because I was just watching what we were doing with the animals. I said, well, it can't hurt me if it's not hurting them. And so I'll give it a try. What do we got to lose here? And it freaked everybody out. That's for sure. Okay. So it's one of
Well,
those.
I'm glad you discovered that, Dr. Wallach.
Well, me too. Because I'm sure they would have killed me back in those days, with experimental drugs and this, that, and the other. I'd just been one of those terrible statistics. And it's one of those things where just, want to make you cry. All these statistics that's going on, including the Russians have kidnapped and taken from Ukraine 13,894 kids to Russia. Now, what are they kidnapping 13,894 kids for? Are they going to use them for kidney transplants, heart transplants, liver transplants? Are they going to use some experimental animals to see what their toxic weapons use, do to them? Who knows? But this is the sort of stuff that Hitler used to do during the Second World War. Hitler did that. He used the kids of the Hebrews and the Jews in Germany, in the countries that he took over. He would use the kids as experimental animals. Okay, this is going over again. And so Putin is just, to me, kind of a rebirth of Hitler.
Well, Dr. Wallach, we have so many good people here with us today that are looking for information to help themselves and help their friends and family. So let's go ahead and shift gears away from all that negative stuff, and let's do some more positive stuff in the world, Dr. Wallach.
Okay.
Let's go to Donna, who has her hand up. Donna, go ahead and unmute yourself. Let me get you on camera here with me. Thank you so much for joining us, Donna.
Well, thank you for all you do, and bless you, Dr. Wallach.
Thank you.
Going back to your vet days, I've got a 6-pound kitty. She's 9 years old. She's on Arthrodex and what else? I've got colloidal silver and Fucoid Z. She's wheezing. Her lungs are all congested. And I'm wondering if mushrooms in the killer biotic or the immune 911, are mushrooms something that kitties can have?
Yeah, that's not a problem. But I would also get the EFAs and EFA pluses. And particularly the cat will like the EFA pluses because they're from fish liver oil. Okay, fish livers. You go ahead and puncture those capsules. I take 2 of those capsules every day, puncture them and squirt them in the food. Because when you get asthma and bronchitis, that kind of stuff, it can be caused by deficiency of the omega-3 essential fatty acids. Okay, give that a shot. Just call in a week.
Okay, thank you so much.
Okay.
All right, thank you, Donna. So, Dr. Wallach, there was one thing I wanted to ask real quick, because you had mentioned the ox bile. And I know for myself, I don't like to put anything non-human in my body if possible. So how does the ox bile benefit us as humans?
Okay, well, ox bile helps us absorb essential fatty acids. And it also prevents blood clots. You do not want to get a blood clot in the brain. And maybe that's what killed this guy in England, okay?
Mr. Grant.
Yeah, Paul Grant. Okay. It's one of those things where if he was not taking essential fatty acids, okay, then that's why he just went brain dead. He had a stroke or okay, big blood clot in his brain. And so it's one of those things where there's something, I guarantee you, he was not taking the 90 essential nutrients. I guarantee you, in England, he was probably eating gluten 3 meals a day.
So that ox bile, I mean, especially if somebody doesn't have a gallbladder, they're not getting that bile.
We call it the gallbladder in a bottle for that reason.
Yeah, so essential fatty acids are not being utilized efficiently if they don't have that bile there to assist the body in being able to break them down and absorb them. Is that correct?
That's correct.
All right. I just wanted to get a little clarity on that one. Thank you so much. Let's go to the next hand that is up. And Nancy, go ahead and unmute yourself.
Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Okay, Dr. Wallach, I just ordered some of your products today, and I ordered what you told me to through Elaine Anderson. She talked to you about it, and you told her what to get me. Well, the one thing I would like to know is what kind of diet would you put a diabetic on? And I know that the one from the Diabetes Association isn't the right one because they are full of gluten and grains and all kinds of things like that. So I would like to know what you would do. And also I would like to know a substitute for salad dressings with no oil. And where do you get that? Do you have that in your recipe book? And if so, which one? And I'd like to know if you can have any fruits at all, like lemons or limes. And those are the kind of things I would like to know.
Especially if you're British, you can have limes. That's why they call British people limeys.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, salad dressing, I like to use cream, from dairy, either cow's milk or sheep or something like that, or goat. And I also use butter. I also use yogurt. Okay. I will use lemon juice on my salads, my greens. Okay. And you do not want to be using oils on your salads. Okay.
Yeah.
You don't want to be cooking with oils because you're heating those oils up. They turn into trans fats, heterocyclamines, and colloids, which will cause blockages in your arteries. It's not cholesterol that blocks your arteries. It's oxidized oils that block your arteries. They made a huge mistake 100 years ago, and they kill more people, by telling them to get off of cholesterol, because cholesterol makes up 25% of your brain weight, 25% of your spinal cord weight. It's 95% of the male hormones and 95% of the female hormones. Cholesterol is a significant nutrient. Okay. And when people go vegan, okay, they're not going to get any, if they become an ovo-lacto vegan, that's okay. Ovo-lacto meaning they're going to be taking eggs and dairy and then eat a lot of vegetables and things, because in eggs and dairy, you're going to get the protein, you're going to get the animal proteins and stuff and animal fats and things you need, butter instead of margarine. But when somebody becomes a vegan and all they eat is vegetables, and even their spread is margarine instead of butter. Back in the old days, a couple hundred years ago, they made butter and cheese to preserve milk because they didn't have refrigerators, to keep milk cool. So it spoiled very quickly. So they made butter and cheese in attempts to find a way to keep dairy for longer periods of time without it spoiling. And so that's why that came about. But basically, for a diabetic, you want to avoid sugar, okay? In all forms. There's no good sugars for a diabetic, okay? And it's one of those things where I like them to eat animal proteins with every meal. Animal proteins with every meal, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, animal proteins. And of course, you got to stay away from the processed meats, like things like bacon and ham, bologna, salami, hot dogs, pastrami, pepperoni, jerky, all those kind of things have chemicals in them, okay, including nitrates. They can't have that stuff. Okay, now they can have roast beef, they can have what should I say? You can have rabbit, you can have chicken, you can have duck, you can have fish of all kinds, grilled, boiled, steamed, even raw. Some of them, not all of them, but some of them, okay, eat raw. And so when you're looking at Jimmy Carter, I'm not into his politics, but he's 98 years old, and I spent a lot of time looking up what he ate for 98 years. Okay. And for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, he had cow's milk and butter and cheese in every meal. Well, you're not supposed to have dairy. Well, yeah, you are. Okay. Has a little bit of cholesterol in there and a lot of good proteins. And then he also ate eggs for breakfast every morning, poached and boiled, not hard boiled, but poached in soft scrambled butter. And he also, for lunch, in addition to the dairy stuff he was having, he would also eat seafood and vegetables and fruit, and same thing with dinner. And then a couple of times a week he'd have steak. And he was a peanut farmer, but he didn't eat a lot of peanuts himself. He was growing the peanuts as animal feed for the livestock industry. Okay. And so that's why he's 98 years old.
Okay.
Okay. As opposed to Paul Grant.
In your book, your recipe book, do you have a bread substitute recipe in there?
Yeah, there's actually cornmeal bread. That's what I have for breakfast is cornmeal muffins, okay, made with cornmeal and dairy, okay. And it's one of those things where corn was used a long time before wheat, butter, and oats, okay. And once wheat, butter, and oats came around, the health of the human being began to spiral downwards very quickly.
Okay.
Dr. Wallach, there's several different bread alternative recipes in here, including naan bread, which I love to eat with my curry chicken and such. And now we can do it gluten-free. So yeah, it's an amazing, amazing cookbook, folks. If you're looking for some great options for gluten-free food, not only gluten-free, but staying away and avoiding all of the bad foods that Dr. Wallach speaks of, this is the cookbook to get.
Yeah.
There's 300 pages of safe recipes, 300 pages of safe recipes and cooking methods.
Thank you.
And it's only $30.
Yeah.
So it's like a no-brainer. Nancy, did you have any other questions?
No, thank you very much. I appreciate your time.
Absolutely.
Don't
Thank you
forget the
so much for
sweeties.
joining us.
Don't forget the sweeties if you're a diabetic, because if you're
I got one brain and heart pack and one sugar pack, and then I got an extra sweeties. I got plenty. Thank you.
Call us every 2 weeks because you're going to have a great story.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Awesome. Now, Dr. Wallach, Kay is on Zoom with us, and she is put in the comments that a friend of hers, husband, 70 years old, very healthy, no meds, had a TIA. Now, that's a transiemic episode or
trans-
attack,
Trans-ischemic episode, okay?
what you said. And the doctor put him on aspirin
This
for
was a
life.
cat? This was a cat?
No, it's a husband.
Oh, a husband. Oh.
I'm assuming an adult man around 70 something.
Mhm.
And they put him on a statin and a blood thinner and said that the statin and blood thinner were only for 3 months because of this attack. So is that a stroke?
Okay, yeah, it's kind of a stroke. And so basically the doctors missed it by a million miles here. Okay. They're treating symptoms as opposed to getting down to the root cause of the problem. This guy, let's say he's an average size guy, 150 to 200 pounds. He needs to be get rid of all the bad foods. Get that book, Dr. Wallach's Cooking Without the Bad Foods. No fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, bar, oats, no sugar, no carbonated drinks, including carbonated water. That's all got to go. And then 2 healthy brain and heart packs a month. 2 healthy brain and heart packs a month. Full dose of everything twice a day. 2 bottles a month of the MSM, so they take 3 at breakfast, 3 at lunch, 3 at dinner time. That's going to support and promote maintenance repair, cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, discs between the vertebrae, bone makes bone itself, including the walls of arteries and veins and that kind of stuff. And then they need the collagen peptides, to scoop of that with the morning drink, scoop of the evening drink. They need the synaptive, 2 bottles a month, so they can take 2 or 3 of those twice a day, which is going to help the brain cells talk to each other. And then for a vascular problem like this guy needs, since he had an attack, I'd have him take 3 bottles a month of the Ultimate Daily Classic tablets, 3 words, Ultimate Daily Classic tablets, 3 at breakfast, 3 at dinner time. They're going to support healthy blood flow through blocked arteries in the brain, the heart, the kidneys, the legs, everywhere, in the digestive system, the eyes, okay, and will support healthy blood pressure as well as healthy blood flow through blocked arteries. Now, this is a forever thing. Okay, you cannot just say, okay, now things are looking good, so we're going to just stop all this and go back to our old ways. No, you can't do that. You got to stay on this forever. I only weigh 142, but I take 3 of those Ultimate Daily Classic tablets twice a day, and I don't have any problems. I've never had a blood clot. I've never had a stroke. I've never had a TIA. Okay, and so a TIA, transient ischemic attack, is a red warning light in the dashboard of the car. You better do something about it. Otherwise, the next time it could kill you.
That is for sure, Dr. Wallach. And, you said that it's lifetime. These are the things that we need for life. It's not like a Band-Aid that you put on until whatever's underneath is healed and gone, because it will come back if you're not addressing the underlying causes.
That's correct.
They will come back. Well, folks, I know Dr. Wallach speaks quickly. So if you want to get a copy of that Good Foods, Bad Foods list, go to dailywithdoc.com and you will find that list there. You will also find a store with the products that Dr. Wallach is mentioning and all of our replays so that you can watch the video again and get the information. So I want to make sure everybody knows where to find a resource that they can use to help themselves. Now, if by chance somebody shared this program with you, make sure that you get back with them and ask them, where do you have a special Good Foods, Bad Foods list that I can pull from? What store would you send me to? Can you help me get these products? Because chances are, if they shared this program with you, they have a way that they've been getting it and they took the time to share. So go ahead and get back with them and tell them thank you as well. Now, Dr. Wallach, we were talking about digestion, and we have a question in the chats on YouTube wanting to know about anxiety. Now, I know if we've got a messed up digestion, that's putting toxics to the brain that can affect our brain and how it functions physically and mentally.
It could be toxicity to the brain. It could be low blood sugar. It could be high blood sugar. Okay. It could be blocked arteries in the brain, lack of oxygen. I mean, there's all kinds of things that can cause anxiety. And so this is where they need to get a hair analysis, get the book. ultimate, this was it,
Rare earths forbidden
thank you,
cures.
thank you, rare earths forbidden
This
cures.
big one.
Rare earths forbidden cures. Okay, go to chapters 10, 11, page 272. It'll tell you how to collect the hair, how to package it, where to ship it. Don't forget to put the check in there. And in 2 weeks' time, you're going to get two what do you call them?
You get graphs. I love bar graphs, Dr. Wallach.
Yeah, graphs. You're going to get 2 graphs back. I call them something else, but they're graphs. Okay.
Charts. You call them charts.
Charts. There you go. Charts. And so one, of course, is going to go into the essential minerals. And if they're all below the bottom line, that means you've been being naughty and eating gluten and buckwheat and all this kind of stuff and not absorbing properly, or eating or drinking carbonated water, not absorbing properly. And then they should be all over the place, not just all below the bottom line. And so that'll give us a clue of how to supplement properly for you. And then the other chart is toxic minerals, lead, mercury, uranium, that kind of stuff. And this is where we actually have a wonderful product called Herbal Rainforest, which has 13 cleansing herbs and 75 minerals in it. And if you have any toxic metals, doctors are going to want you to come in every week for a year and do IVs and all this kind of stuff and this and the other to try and get rid of all those toxic metals and minerals. Okay. Well, whether you're doing that or not, whether you choose to do that or not, that's up to you. But I would also do you want to make sure you're taking the Herbal Rainforest, and that will help you get rid of the existing metals. But you do need to find out where they're coming from. Do a little bit of research, find out where it's possible that you're getting them from, and you get on the 90 essential nutrients. So then in 3 months, you do another hair analysis. If you see your minerals coming up in your hair, that's a good thing. You see the toxic metals dropping, that's a good thing. But you don't need a doctor's prescription or permission to do a hair analysis. You don't need a doctor's prescription to take the Herbal Rainforest. Okay. If you want to understand it, you can go ahead and, again, get a hold of the book, the herbal books and so forth. Let's Play Herbal Doctor, Passport to Aromatherapy, those kind of things.
And Dr. Wallach, the hair analysis and absorption brings up another question, because here on YouTube, they're saying some people argue that vitamin mineral supplements do not get absorbed into the body. And you and I have looked at many charts that were last year and this year, side by side. The only change is adding the nutrition that Dr. Wallach is recommending for the individual. And there is significant difference. So the fact that somebody is saying that vitamins and minerals do not get absorbed into the body, we have side-by-side evidence.
Yeah, that's a gluten alert, gluten alert. And people say,
well, yeah.
Well, are you washing your clothes in the same washer and dryer as your family that they do eat gluten? Well, yeah. Okay, well, that's why you're not being careful enough and you're getting cross-contaminated. Okay.
And Dr. Wallach, even before I found out about gluten, adding the nutrients, because of the forms and the raw ingredients that are put into the longevity products being absorbable, made a huge difference in my life. And I didn't even know about the importance of removing gluten because I was like all about whole grains. But when I took them out,
doctors tell people to eat whole grains, and that's a big mistake. That's one of the worst things that happened to humanity is when they discovered, they could grow wheat, barley, rye, and oats and go into an industry and sell it all over the world because it's dry. They could, ship it in boats for 3 months and so forth, that kind of stuff. And you're much better off having your own garden with carrots and pumpkins and corn and beets and onions and that kind of stuff, right?
Carrots. I've been eating carrots from my garden.
Well, there you go.
I love those. Okay, so growing, that brings me up to another subject that people ask quite often. What about wheatgrass, oatgrass, the grass from barley? You grind that up and make a juice. It's supposed to be full of phytonutrients and healthy. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, is it safe to shoot yourself in the head with a copper jacketed bullet?
Well, the gluten is a protein that's in the seed, in the grain itself.
That's
So
correct.
is that transferred within the plant, or is that,
Just the dust.
so you get cross contamination?
That's correct. It's just not
All
worth
right.
it. It's just not worth it.
And there's other ways that you can get those phytonutrients. My favorite way, Dr. Wallach, is in the Beyond Tangy Tangerine.
Yeah.
That whole food blend is amazing.
Yeah,
So-
and we do everything we put in our program are from the proper fertilization. They use our Bloomin' Minerals, okay, which has I don't know 50 different minerals in there. Okay, our Bloomin' Minerals, and this is something you can do for your own gardens. We sell a lot of the Bloomin' Minerals, and it's one of those things where you have to use some common sense here. If something is bad, you don't want to use anything from that plant. You don't want to use anything from that garden if it's grown in there because of cross contamination.
Okay, that's a good point, because if you've got if you garden and in your hair analysis, you have high toxic metals, there's a possibility that those toxic metals and elements are in the soil that's your food's being grown in.
That's a possibility. That's correct.
Wow. Well, Dr. Wallach, I know we're getting close on time. Do you have time for another quick question?
Let's do it.
All right, Gary, do you have a quick question, my dear? Go ahead and unmute yourself. There you go.
Okay. Hi, Doc.
Hey.
Hi, Becca. The answer came up earlier about salad dressings. I know you don't want no bottled salad dressing or no oils and so forth. I work at the casino and all they have is a little mayonnaise. Can I put mayonnaise on a little lettuce or not?
No, it has oils in it.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah.
Hold
All
the
right.
mayo.
Hold okay. Hold the mayo. Right. Okay, that's it. I mean, I don't want to keep you.
Yeah,
That's a great question,
Yeah,
Gary,
and
because not only,
that includes the Mayo Clinic.
Yeah, the Mayo Clinic. Right. Yeah, no, I was questioning that. And it of course it's full of fat, mayonnaise too, but it does have
Well, most of the fat is oil.
right.
Okay, and so it doesn't matter what
Unless
plant the oil came from. As soon as they squeeze the oil out of that seed or the plant, it begins to oxidize and turn into trans fats.
right. Can you make your own mayonnaise? I guess you can. It's made with
I
eggs.
insist on going in that direction.
Yeah. Okay. And by the way, I'm the one with the hernia, and I'm following what you talked about by putting the 2x4 up on my bed and lying on my head at night. It works.
Okay,
It worked.
good. And don't forget the belt.
I'm wearing the belt and I'm doing inguinal exercises, special exercises.
It's amazing what gravity and a little bit of nutrition will do.
Right now, it's slow. It's real slow, but I think there's little improvement as each week goes by. There's a little improvement. I don't feel the hernia, but I know it's there. It was more pronounced before, but now it looks like it's trying to regress itself in some way
Okay,
or
good.
another.
Thank you for that status report.
Okay.
all right, thank you so much, Gary and Dr. Wallach. I know that you have to get going. We appreciate you taking this time each and every day. Folks, you can catch Daily with Doc Monday through Friday, 12 to 12:50 Pacific time. That's 1 Mountain, 2 Central, 3 Eastern, 4 Atlantic, and 9, I think I figured it out with Albert. It's 9 o'clock in South Africa. So it's not as late as I thought it was because of the time change. But we invite you to join us Monday through Friday, Daily with Doc on dailywithDocZoom.com. If I could get my co-hosts up with me, I greatly appreciate them as they are helping keep track of the questions that are coming through on our different platforms. Thank you, Ruth Ellen Sanchez, as she's making sure that we've got the audio and everything is streaming the way it's supposed to. making sure I turn things on my side so she can do her job. And then we also have Sherry, who's helping get everybody into the room so that they can hear the message and raise their hand and ask their questions as well. And then also Marilyn, as she's putting information into the chat. And folks, you can't see that chat when you're out on those other platforms. So come join us on dailywithDocZoom.com. I love my team, and this is only like a fraction of the team. I know we've got other people that are on the team here on with us as well and helping out and spreading the message. So if you are watching this program, share it with somebody, share it to your channel, share it to your profile, because the information that is being shared in this program, we don't want to keep to ourselves. We don't want to be the healthiest on the planet. We don't want to be the only ones with knowledge. We are here to make sure that this message gets shared because it has touched our lives in a way that nothing else has. And we encourage you to help somebody else find options that can touch their life in a more positive manner. So on behalf of the Daily with Doc crew, thank you so much for joining us here. Until next time, bye for now.